We as parents, okay, I'm driving and I'm also going to go back and forth between stuff about my personal stuff and stuff in general. We as parents, okay, well, let's start with a personal situation, okay? I know my older four kids. I have four kids from my marriage, and I have two younger kids, the ones that are attempted to be taken away right now by a unfair system that doesn't look into the people that they're judging. They're not looking into me at all. They're just taking the word of somebody else because I'm not paying all this money that I don't have to jump through hoops. It's basically because I don't have the money to spend on these things in order to clarify my name in the eyes of a court. But in the eyes of a court, I don't see how they don't understand that out of nowhere, someone accuses me of stuff, has no real proof of anything, Besides that, I'll start with my older four. Like, they spent the last 10 years, 12 years, only seeing me on Sunday. There was a couple times here and there where their mom would let them come on a different time, but during the week they lived in Corey compared to Erie and Waterford, which was difficult to get around. And I'm not saying that's why I didn't. It's just because they had school, and by the time I got done with work, there was no interest on the other half. And for a while I was paying so much in child support I couldn't even afford my own car, so I would need them to drive them out. Anyway, for the instance of my son Oliver, who I love very, very much. I love them all very much. And he's an awesome dude. He is addicted to video games, and basically said that since they've spent so long only seeing me once a week, now that I'm like, hey, whatever you want to see me, I'll come get you. We'll do anything, anytime. They don't want to. And he literally said that since they've spent so long without being around me and only seeing me once a week, it seems awkward to see me more often than that. Now, isn't that harsh for a person to take? I know he loves me. He's an awesome guy. He's a really good kid and everything. But that's a horrible way to get a response from somebody. Like, oh, we're just used to not seeing you. And that's what my second ex is doing with my kids, who, if you ever went on TikTok and saw what kind of things my kids do on TikTok, they're twerking at 10 and mouthing the F words and the P word and the D word, and they're like, shorty, baby, shorty, drop it low. I think that's not cool. I don't care what anyone says. It's not cool for a little kid to be doing that. And, if the court system is about being a good parent and having a good impression on your children, then I'm definitely, when I looked up the 16 points of interest for children, I qualify for every single one of them. And their mom, who's trying to take them away from me, doesn't qualify for any of them. But the court doesn't seem to care because I don't have the money to pay anybody. They're not making any money off me. So it seems that's what they're doing. Like, I didn't go to the conciliation because I told the lawyer I wasn't going to pay for a psychiatric evaluation because I don't have it. And I said, you guys pay for it. And he said, no, we're not paying for it. That's on you. And I'm like, well, I'm not going. And he said, well, if you're not going to, coincide or, cooperate with their stipulations, then there's no point of going. And I was like, true, I'm not going to go because we're not going to come to an agreement. And that's what the whole thing was supposed to be for. We didn't have an agreement. So then the judge got mad at me for that. But we didn't go for a reason. So, and then let me tell you another little interesting thing. I don't know what anyone else believes, but I'm a certified master Reiki healer. And I know that I heal things. Like when I broke my own leg with my bone sticking out, and I healed it myself. And that was before I even knew what I was doing. But since these last couple of years have been so much different, when I started getting into studying Eastern medicine and stuff like that, and psychology and spirituality, when I got into those things, I really could feel the energy in my body and the energy in my hands. So I started looking into it. And my friend Phil, who is also the other half of the Audio Sapiens group that we used to have, he used to talk about it years ago. So I looked into it. And I studied and I did all the courses and I went through the whole thing. And not only did I go through the courses, I made a daily habit of practicing it. And lo and behold, when I had 2 bulging discs and a ruptured disc that had me in a bed for 6 months, and doctors said that I needed to get a surgery because my back looked horrible, and there was no way that, I was going to have any, it wasn't going to heal right, and I wasn't, I didn't have a chance to go through a life without back pain and all this kind of stuff, saying I needed surgery. Well, I said no, and I healed it myself. And I'll show anybody I can stretch really far, and I'm in really good shape, and I did it all myself. And see, this world is a place where people don't believe anyone has that much determination and drive in themselves. So, like I said, I had a feeling I was going to go off for a second. But this is about we as parents. We as parents have to start thinking about what we're doing, because if we don't make it a point to be part of our kids' lives, we use the word program all the time, and I don't really care for the word program in the way we use it. But in this situation, kids are programming themselves because their parents aren't around. My daughter Jasmine and Leonidas, who are the ones that are their mom's trying to take them away from me, they spend their days by themselves doing TikTok videos and, doing all this cool, kid stuff from Fortnite and, Call of Duty and stuff that little kids shouldn't really be doing. I mean, there is no right and wrong, yeah. But when you want moral values and you want to keep your child, you want to keep their youth as innocent as possible. That's like a parent's job, to keep children somewhat innocent. And, as life goes on, you discuss those situations with them. You don't just say, oh, whatever, just whatever. Not even anything. So it's what you do with your kids or what you don't do with your kids that trains them to be what they are. I'm not trying to say anything bad about anybody, but I know that my ex, Jen, didn't really spend much time with my kids because she was more worried about dating, and she got married again and work and all this stuff. I work all the time, but I reach out to my kids all the time. They just don't answer back because they've basically either been trained or they've trained themselves to accept not seeing me. And that's what they got used to. And now seeing me, there's a bottom line of fear in everybody. When you have something and you lose it, and then you start getting it back, you fear that feeling of losing it again, so you don't get too close. And I feel that in them. And I'm not stupid. I feel it. I know. But what can you do about it except for try and try and try? And that's what I've been doing, and that's what I'll keep doing. So what I'm trying to say here is that we as parents need to associate ourselves with our kids' lives more than our adult stuff and our shows on TV and our drinking at the bars and our friends and our sports teams and our work. If we have kids, make your kids your first priority. Take it from somebody who got that taken away from them. Don't fuck that up or mess that up. I'm sorry about swearing, but I'm very emotional lately, and a swear word's a swear word. It means nothing. I'm coming from the heart, literally. I'm always coming from the heart. There's nothing but heart in me. So that's another reason why being accused of being crazy is very offensive. Who wouldn't be offensive? You go to a courthouse and then the judge laughed at me about the hand healing thing. That's why I went on to that. I'm a certified master Reiki hand healer. But I don't walk around and talk all, anything about it, because people don't get that. People don't really understand those things too much unless they really look into it. But the judge laughed at me you can heal yourself and you can heal people. I'm like, I can actually. No one's allowed me to try it, but I can. In fact, I've done it from afar. My mom may not understand this, but she had a period of time where she couldn't even hear out of her ear, and she'd be like, what? And you'd say, never mind. What? Never mind. Never mind. What? And her ear was really bad. She didn't know if she was going to be able to hear again. So I started using meditation and Reiki from a distance and blessing her ears and stuff like that, and it actually came back the day after I did it. So anyway, something just spilled while I'm driving, and I should go. But I'm just saying, people, love your children. Be more of a part of their life. Be an active part of their life. You have to. That's our job as parents. What's the point of having a kid if you're not going to be there for them? Like me, I'm here for them, but I'm having it taken away from other people. So just think about what I said. I love you guys. Have a great day every day. Peace.